Be a good boy. Come on, Ishmael. He ran towards her with enthusiasm, his ball held firmly between his teeth. Much like his human master, Ish was a flirt. He came running all giddy and happy towards her, making her think it was going to be easy. And right when he was close enough to touch, he ran off again. Frankie chased after him and almost caught him. She was not giving up. She ran through the pain of the stitch in her side, building up again. She chased Ishmael all the way around the entire length of the square, fenced in, private, as in reserved for the gated community, dog park, until he came to a complete stop in front of Jonas. Frankie stopped running, stopped calling his name. She grabbed her side and walked towards them. Of all the pictures in her mind of the way she would look the second time Jonas Gunner laid eyes on her, this was not it. "Drop it," Jonas said simply, and Ish opened his mouth and dropped the slobbery ball. Frankie wanted to strangle the dog. She wanted to lie down. She needed a drink of water and maybe a towel, because she was drenched with sweat. Jonas had returned early. He was not supposed to be home until later, and then he was scheduled for a nap before the award show and the after parties. Jonas looked her over with those clear, disarming blue eyes of his. Frankie was conscious of every drip of sweat sliding down her face, her back, the crack of her ass. "I didn't know you were a runner. I would have changed my schedule around. The three of us could have gone for a jog instead." Jonas looked away from her and patted his dog on the head. Frankie took the moment to pinch her side again. She gasped for breath and resumed the smile when he looked at her. She was dying. Her lungs were on fire. Her side felt like someone was pinching her, and it throbbed in pain with each spasm. "Yeah," she lied. "I'm just getting back into it, you know. So running behind Ish here is fine. I would hate to slow you both down." He looked at her, and she knew before he said anything that he was going to make a comment she could tuck away and use later that night in her dreams. A consummate flirt, another tidbit of information she had read about him. "I can go slow." He let his gaze travel over her. "I can go as slow as you need me to." She knew one thing for sure. He liked her quick wit. She could not accept his flirtations as genuine, especially as she stood there with sweat dripping out of every pore of her body. Instead, she quipped, "Good to know. Now, how did the meeting go? Do I need to get anything prepared for this weekend?" He held out his hand, and she passed him the leash. Ish would not be seeing freedom on another walk until she knew exactly how to manage him. Frankie stood up straight and pulled her phone out of the hidden pocket in her tank top. It was meant for a portable music device, but her phone fit just fine, and she did need to keep it on her at all times. That was in the agreement. She worked 5 days a week from 10 to 7, but she was on call 24 hours, 7 days a week, including holidays. He watched her pull out the phone, and then he had to laugh at her expense. "You crack me up," he said. She wanted to crack him in the head for laughing at her. She would not look at him. He would not get the pleasure of seeing her face while making fun of her for doing her job. "Do you need to change anything on the schedule today?"